The grand ballroom shimmered under chandeliers worth more than most people's homes. Guests in designer suits and glittering gowns swayed to soft music, their laughter blending with the sound of clinking glasses. It was the 10th anniversary gala of Arden Enterprises, one of the most powerful corporations in the city. But in the corner of that glamorous hall, a small girl sat alone, quietly rocking back and forth, her fingers brushing against the hem of her pastel dress. No one noticed her. No one dared to. Her name was Lila Arden, the 8-year-old daughter of Evelyn Arden, the CEO herself. Lila wasn't like other children. She didn't talk much. She didn't like loud sounds or bright lights. She found comfort in repetition, tracing patterns with her fingers, humming softly to herself, or dancing when she thought no one was watching. But tonight, everyone saw her, and still pretended she wasn't there. Until one person did. Chapter 1. The New Maid. Earlier that week, Maria, a 26-year-old woman with kind brown eyes and a worn-out backpack, had nervously arrived at the Arden mansion. She had just been hired as the new maid after a series of interviews. Life had not been kind to Maria. She had grown up poor, lost her parents young, and had been working since she was 16. She was quiet, hardworking, and respectful, the type of person who went unnoticed, which was exactly what the Arden family staff expected from her. But on her very first day, she noticed something the others didn't. While the household buzzed with activity, one room remained silent, filled with toys, yet empty of laughter. Peeking in, Maria saw a little girl sitting cross-legged on the floor, lining up her toy animals in perfect rows. Lila didn't look up, even when Maria softly greeted her. But when Maria accidentally dropped a spoon, Lila flinched and covered her ears, tears welling instantly. Maria immediately knelt down, whispered an apology, and gently began humming an old lullaby, a tune her mother used to sing. To her surprise, Lila stopped crying. She didn't speak, but she started swaying, following the rhythm. That was their first connection. Chapter 2. The Lonely Child. Days passed, and Maria learned more about Lila. The girl rarely spoke, and when she did, it was mostly in whispers or single words. The other maids treated her like fragile glass, something to avoid breaking. Even Evelyn, the CEO, seemed distant. She loved her daughter, that much was clear, but she buried herself in work, guilt, and pressure. Behind her perfect corporate mask, Evelyn was exhausted, a mother who didn't know how to reach her own child. She had lost her husband 2 years ago in an accident, and since then, she had drowned herself in building the company he helped start. One night, Maria overheard Evelyn speaking to her assistant. She doesn't respond to me anymore, Clara. I don't know what to do. I've tried therapy, special schools, everything. Maybe I'm just not what she needs. Maria wanted to speak up, to tell her what she saw, that Lila didn't need perfection, she just needed patience and presence. But who was she, a maid, to tell a CEO how to be a mother? Chapter 3. The Dance. Then came the gala night. The mansion transformed into a palace. Guests flooded in, investors, politicians, media, all eyes on Evelyn. Lila sat at a corner table, clutching a small plush bunny, overwhelmed by the noise and flashing lights. Every few seconds, someone glanced at her with pity, then turned away. Evelyn kept looking over, torn between her duties and her daughter. That's when Maria saw it, the moment Lila began tapping her feet softly to the faint rhythm of the music. The little girl wanted to dance but was too afraid. So Maria took a deep breath and walked straight across the ballroom floor. The whispers began immediately. Is that the maid? What is she doing? Ignoring them, Maria knelt beside Lila and smiled. Do you want to dance with me? She asked softly. Lila looked up, her big, uncertain eyes searching Maria's face. For a moment, she didn't move. Then, slowly, she stood up and took Maria's hand. The music swelled, and together, they danced. It wasn't perfect, it was awkward and gentle and full of heart. Maria twirled her slowly, letting Lila lead when she wanted to. The crowd fell silent, watching as the maid and the CEO's autistic daughter spun gracefully under the golden lights. And then, something miraculous happened. Lila smiled. It wasn't a small, polite smile. It was pure joy. Chapter 4. A Mother's Tears. Evelyn froze. Her heart ached as tears filled her eyes. She hadn't seen her daughter smile like that since her husband's death. Without thinking, she left the podium, kicked off her heels, and walked toward them. Maria stopped immediately, stepping back respectfully, but Lila reached out and grabbed her mother's hand. Greater than, Mommy, dance, she whispered. The whole room gasped. It was the first time anyone had heard Lila speak more than one word in months. Evelyn's lips trembled. She knelt down, cupping her daughter's face. Greater than, okay, sweetheart, she said, voice breaking. Let's dance. And the three of them, the CEO, the maid, and the little girl who had forgotten how to smile, danced together. Chapter 5. The Change. After that night, everything changed. Evelyn asked Maria to stay, not just as a maid, but as Lila's full-time caretaker. Soon, she became more like family. With Maria's help, Evelyn learned to slow down, to communicate in Lila's world instead of forcing her daughter into hers. Lila began to open up, small words, gestures, laughter. She started painting, drawing her feelings when words weren't enough. Evelyn even started leaving work early to join her daughter for art time. Months later, Evelyn announced the creation of a new foundation, the Lila Foundation, dedicated to helping children with autism receive education and care regardless of their family's wealth. She credited Maria publicly, calling her, the woman who taught me how to listen with my heart. Epilogue. The message. Years later, during a press conference, a reporter asked Evelyn, greater than, what inspired your company's shift toward inclusion and mental health support? She smiled, glancing toward Maria and Lila sitting in the front row. Greater than, because one woman reminded me, Evelyn said, that compassion is more powerful than any title. And sometimes, the greatest change begins with a simple act, like asking a child to dance. Sparkle's moral of the story. True kindness doesn't come from wealth, power, or education, it comes from the heart that dares to see the unseen. One act of empathy can bridge worlds, heal wounds, and change lives forever. Would you like me to now create 10 hyper-realistic image prompts capturing the most emotional and suspenseful moments of this story with consistent character appearances for animation or visuals?